Hi and welcome to No Cheese. Today I'm going to make a Swedish dish, meat stew with dill, as we call it Dillkött. The direct translation is actually dill meat. For that I need a ham, 1.2 kilograms, and I'm going to cut this into cubes. Maybe I remove some fat on this also. Now I'm gonna put the meat in the saucepan. And now I'm gonna fill this up with cold water. I'm gonna fill this up so it will cover the meat. And then I'm going to let this begin boiling to get the foam off the meat. Now it's going to begin boiling, and when begin boiling it will be foam from the meat. And the purpose of boiling the meat now is to remove the foam from the meat, so we get a clear broth when boiling together with vegetables. When it has boiled for a while it will be very much foam here. Now it begins boiling quite much. I will lower the heat a little bit. And you see it's quite much foam in here just now. And I think it's time to remove the water and the foam and add some new fresh water and let it boil again. And I'm gonna remove this water and clean the meat with cold new water and then put the meat in the other saucepan. And the purpose is to clean the meat from the foam before putting the meat in other saucepan. And now I will measure how much water it is in this saucepan. So I will measure the water must cover the meat. One liter, and you see it cover the meat quite good. But I think I'm going to use 1.5 liters. Because we should have a little bit of margin when removing some more foam from this. It will probably get some water off when removing some more foam. So 1.5 liters. And I make it boil. When the meat going to begin boil again, I will prepare the vegetables. I will first peel the carrots. I will use 1 carrot, but this is not too big, so I have a half more. 1 big carrot, that's the recipe. And then I'm going to prepare the onion. The meat just begin boiling again. And I think it will be some more foam in this water that we have to remove. I'm gonna slice the onion. I also gonna slice the carrots. The meat have been boiling for a minute or so, and it's very clear water. I don't think it will be so much more foam in this. I can let it boil for some more minutes and see if it will be some more foam. Now the meat have been boiling for 5 minutes, and I will see if I do a little bit like this, if it gets some foam here. I think this is very nice just now. No more foam. Actually, this is a bit of meat, so I don't think I have to remove these small pieces that are going around here in the water. So now it's time to add some spices and vegetables in this. First I'm gonna add white peppercorns. I will use 15 white peppercorns per liter of water. So for 1.5 liter of water here, I would use 23. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, that 23. It's actually not so important to have exactly count the amount of peppercorns, but you can easily see if it is between 23 and 35. I think that is perfect. Now I also use 3 bay leaves per liter of water. So it's also how big the bay leaves are. You have to look at the size of the bay leaves. I think you need here 4.5 bay leaves for 1.5 liter of water. So I will have 4.5 big bay leaves. I will compare the size. This is 1 bay leaf, and this also 1 bay leaf too. And I think here number 3, number 4 and a half, and 1 extra to make it be good. I think that is perfect. Then I'm going to put in the carrots. And then I'm going to add the onion. And after a while this will begin smelling very good. And make sure that the bay leaves are under the water surface. The meat is now going to boil on low heat for 2 hours. I forget to put some salt into the meat. I'm gonna use 3 teaspoons of salt for every liter water. So actually 4.5 teaspoons I would use. I will mix this a little bit. The meat has been boiling for 1 hour and 50 minutes. Now I'm going to prepare the potatoes, because I'm going to serve the dish with the boiled potatoes. I'm going to peel the potatoes. It's practical to have the potatoes finished when the other food is finished, so I can serve the dish immediately. I don't use to boil the potatoes with salt. I think the salt is in the sauce. So I think the salt that we put in the sauce together with the meat is enough salt in this dish. Now the meat have been boiled for 2 hours, and now it's time to strain the broth. I will cool this a little bit on these plates, because I'm going to separate the carrots and the meat from here, because I'm going to use the carrots and the meat in the stew. When this is going to cool down, I'm going to begin making the sauce. So first I'm going to wash this saucepan a little bit. I add some heat on the stove here, so the water will be evaporated, and I also need a warm saucepan because I'm going to melt the butter. Now I'm going to make a roux with butter and flour. First I'm gonna add 50 grams of butter. And in this I'm going to add 0.7 deciliter of flour. You can use cornstarch instead of flour. Now I'm gonna add 7 deciliter of broth. It's very important that you mix this all the time, very carefully, little bit at a time. I think that is now 7 deciliters. I'm also going to add 1.5 tablespoons of spirit vinegar. Actually 12% of acetic acid in this. And this is actually the secret with this dish. Even if you can use lemon instead, pressed lemon. So this is actually the thing. Now I'm going to boil up this so it will be thick. And it's important to stir all the time. Now it has begin boiling, and now it will boil for 3 minutes. And that is because the taste of the flour should disappear when you do that. Now it has boiled for 3 minutes, and now it's time to add the dill. I'm going to add approximately 20 grams of dill, minced frozen dill. You can of course use fresh dill, but I think the dill in Sweden that is frozen is very good. I'm going to use 2 yolks in the sauce, so I will separate the egg white with the yolk. I'm going to add 2 deciliter of cream to the yolks. And then I'm going to stir this together. And now it's time to put this into the sauce. And the sauce now will boil again, so I put the heat on, almost high heat, to make this boil again. And it should only begin boil very fast, then you turn off the heat directly. So it will only boil for seconds. Actually, if you like to have more sauce, you can do that using the broth you get here. The sauce is very special and makes the dish very good, so you can eat very much sauce if you like, because it's so good. When the heat gets up to 84 degrees Celsius, the yolks will make the sauce a little bit thicker. Actually, it's that temperature we like. But I have never yet experienced that it had been destroyed if you get it up to boil temperature. Yeah, now it's boiling. Now we have only a few things left to do. First, check the potatoes. Yes, I think they are finished. Now I'm going to check if I need some more salt and white pepper in this sauce. I'm quite happy with this, but maybe I used to use some white pepper, so I would use a little bit of ground white pepper. And I think it's very important that you ground it directly when you use it. It's quite much salt in the broth anyway, so it seems to be okay with the saltiness. I would try again. Very nice. Now it's time to put in the meat and the carrots. When this is newly boiled, it's very hot, but now it's perfect temperature to separate this meat and the carrots. So when you do the right thing at the right time, you can make the cooking as easy as possible, as in this case when it had been cooled to workable temperature. It doesn't matter that you get some onion piece in this, but I try to not get it in. If you want, you can put in some more carrots or similar vegetables. So you can boil this together with the meat and then eat it afterwards in this sauce. If you don't like to boil it so much, you can take it up after 1 hour so it not have to be too soft boiled. The reason to have the carrots in here is to give taste to the broth, and the most people don't eat the carrots afterwards. But I think it's a good taste that the carrots add to the dish. When separating this, I also have the white peppercorn separated, as you see here. It's not nice to have white peppercorn in the sauce. I'm gonna stir this to mix everything. If you like, you can heat this up a little bit, but I think it's hot enough. I think it's about 50-60 degrees just now. And you see the sauce is a little bit thick, and that is the right thickness. Exactly like this I want to have it. Now it's time to try. I used to split the potatoes like this. The only problem with this dish is actually that you cannot freeze this sauce because of the yolks. If you eat this after it had been in the fridge, I would recommend to use a saucepan to heat the sauce up. Don't use micro. Now it's time to try this dish. Very delicious. I will recommend this dish very much. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.